organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, silent protest. Students react to the Marcus Owens assault.
And how to prevent diabetes, reporter Daisy Lee has all the tips and tricks you'll need to know in order to stay healthy.
And in weather, severe thunderstorms, warm temperatures, and more. Stay tuned for my forecast in the Weather Center.
As spring sports wrap up, a few Hawks are leaving their best on the field. We tell you who coming up next.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Keaton Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Roberts.
A study in the wake of the Marcus Owens assault. At 3:30 on Friday afternoon, students gathered outside of the office of the Vice President for Student Life to hold a special study session. The diverse group of students and other community members gathered to show their solidarity to Owens, a Black UI student who was allegedly assaulted in an incident the police are investigating as a hate crime. One representative mentioned the power of numbers.
You know, I appreciate their concern and the manner in which they're expressing it, and I share their concern. First and foremost, I want this campus to be a place where all of our students feel safe.
Arrests in a case of child starvation. A mother and her boyfriend from Eldridge, Iowa have been charged after reports that they denied the woman's son food and medical care. The young boy was suffering from long-term starvation and was reportedly close to death. They've each been charged with a count of child endangerment causing serious injury, and their bonds are set at $25,000 apiece. And the child was safely checked into an Iowa City hospital.
A new region announced only days after former Iowa Board of Regents Mary Andringa stepped down. Governor Terry Branstad has appointed her replacement. Mike Richards of the Quattro Composites Company will take Andringa's place on the board, serving a term that will run through April of 2021. Richards has previously served as the head of Wild Rose Entertainment and has almost 20 years of experience as a physician. His appointment will need to be approved by the Iowa State Senate.
A missing student safe and sound. Concern arose at the University of Northern Iowa after student Adam Saylor failed to show up at the school's commencement ceremonies. Saylor went missing on Saturday night but was luckily found in good condition on Sunday morning.
You might have noticed the haze lately and blamed it on the humidity, but it's actually smoke. Alberta, Canada is currently battling a wildfire that has destroyed over 602 square miles and forced almost 90,000 people to evacuate. The blaze has already wiped out 1,600 structures and will potentially double in size, even though the fire is moving in a northeast direction. The smoke has traveled the 1,363 miles to Iowa City. There are over 500 firefighters, 15 helicopters, and 14 air tankers working to take control of the blaze, but they're still hoping for rain early in the week. Luckily, there have been no reported fatalities related to the wildfires.
Wow, Keaton, that really is something, but it's good to know that everyone's okay.
I know. For more about the weather other than the haze, let's throw it over to Bradley Martin in the weather studio. Brad?
Yeah, Keaton, the haze is definitely still out here. However, I think some rain is going to take that and dissipate it throughout the week. Looking into Monday morning to start, expect a high of 56 for your morning commute. In the afternoon, that raises to 63 and back down to 62 in the evening. If we can take a deeper look into your extended forecast, Tuesday remaining partly cloudy with a high of 74 and 47, about 5 or so degrees down from today. Wednesday, we have a significant drop down to 55 for your high and 47. Looking at some of those aggregated graphs, we believe that's because of the thunderstorms in the area, about a 90% chance there. Thursday pops up just a degree or two to 56 for your high, 41 for your low. We're sticking with the rain, about a 40% chance. Friday, back up a little bit higher to 65, low of 47. There we got most of the clouds, and for a lot of those graduations on Saturday, a high of 59 and low of 48. And we're actually looking at about a good chance of rain for Saturday. So those of you that are going to be in town for graduation or taking those pictures, do it prior to Saturday. That's all I have for you in the weather studio on this Sunday evening. Back to you guys at the desk.
One of the busiest streets in Paris was closed Sunday. Champs-Élysées will not have traffic on it for once a month as part of a new initiative to lower the city's pollution levels. The city has also brought in rental bicycles and electronic cars and built more cycling paths. According to the World Health Organization, pollution is the cause for 600,000 premature deaths in Europe every year.
Nonviolence from North Korea. During a 3-hour speech, leader Kim Jong-un announced the nation would not use its nuclear weapons unless its sovereignty is threatened. He also mentioned that the country is willing to work towards improving relationships with other nations and released a 5-year plan for economic growth. Although this plan does not entail any major changes to the capitalist economy, these announcements demonstrate that the North Korean leader, is taking responsibility for the nation's economic problems.
Diabetes, a big problem that's growing even larger. Our very own Daisy Lee took a look at how students can prevent diabetes and stay healthy.
Diabetes is one of the most common chronic diseases worldwide. According to American Diabetes Association, over 300,000 people in Iowa have diabetes.
A lack of a healthy diet and not enough exercise tends to contribute to diabetes.
Also, people with family history of diabetes are more likely to have the same disease. Ren Xin says both of his father and grandfather have diabetes. In order to prevent the same thing happens to him, Ren Xin tries the best to stay healthy.
Like a personal fitness class, so I'm trying to have a habit of at least minimum of exercise, to prevent this disease.
Dietitian Joanne says diabetes can be prevented. First, get enough sleep. Adequate sleep can benefit your heart, weight, and more. Eat healthy, limit the intake of fats and sugars, more vegetables. Find a proper way to release stress, like hang out with your friends. Exercise 30 minutes per day would also decrease the risk of diabetes as well. Reporting from Iowa City, Daisy Lee, Daily Iowan TV.
Well, Keaton, as the year is wrapping up, those Hawkeye sports teams are certainly still keeping it interesting for us fans.
It is, Andrew. Let's find out what we can expect for the remainder of the semester with Taylor Brooks in the sports studio. Taylor?
Thanks, Keaton and Andrew. From the golf course to the baseball and softball diamonds, Iowa athletics had a lot to be proud of this weekend. And first, to the golf course. When senior golfer Amy Im saw her name pop up on the screen for the NCAA Regional 2 weeks ago, she was more than excited. Starting in this Iowa program as a walk-on, then to a Big Ten honoree with earning second team this season. Im was anxious to get to the regional, and as was head coach Megan Manziel. After putting together a senior campaign of 7 top 10 finishes and 10 tournaments, it was all or nothing at the regional in Bryan, Texas. Teeing off on Thursday, May 5th, Im put together a 79+7 score in the first round of the regional, tallying 2 birdies on holes 14 and 18. Then went on to hit right on stride with 6 straight holes at par. After round 1, the Iowa golfer was tied at 78th. Tee time for the second round at the Traditions Golf Club was 8:50 a.m. on Friday. I moved up 7 spots on the leaderboard in round 2 after firing a 3 over par 75. Iowa's first NCAA regional individual qualifier since 1993 was making strides as she tied for 71st. Going into the final round on Sunday, it was all or nothing. I'm teed off on the back 9, carding 4 over par 40 with birdies on hole 11, 17, and 19. On the front 9, I'm bogeyed 3 holes, but answered with back-to-back birdies on hole 4 and 5. The senior recorded 12 birdies over the course of the tournament, the 4th highest birdie count in the tournament field. I'm ended up finishing 69th overall in that regional tournament. Heading back to the baseball diamond, where it was not all sunshine to begin with for the Hawks. For the first time since March of 2014, Iowa baseball was shut out as they opened the series against Ohio State on Friday night. The Hawks only had 5 hits in their loss against the 30-15 Buckeyes. After a 6-0 loss in the series opener, the Iowa baseball team came back to the field on Saturday to take care of business. The Hawks had a season high of 20 hits as they shut out Ohio State 12-0. While the bats were hot, the pitching staff was also clicking as they had their second two-hitter of the year. All 10 players that swung the bat had at least one hit. Head coach Rick Heller was impressed with the team's quick turnaround and was quoted post-game saying, "The guys righted the ship and came out with great energy and effort today. It was a nice win to get us back on track." On Sunday, the Hawks were not able to battle back after a tough first inning. The Buckeyes came out strong straight out of the gate, putting up 3 runs in the first. Iowa's offense did not have the power to battle back and gave up the game 3-0. The Hawkeyes will host Michigan State next weekend in their final regular season homestand. Moving over to Bob Pearl Field, where the Iowa softball team hosted Minnesota. In the series opener, the 19th ranked Golden Gophers scored 12 runs in the 3 of the final 4 innings to take over the game 14-3. On Saturday, the Golden Gophers continued their momentum to clinch the series victory. Minnesota got their bats swinging early, scoring 8 runs over the first 3 innings. Iowa caught up in the bottom of the 5th, scoring 2 clutch runs to avoid the 5th inning rule, but this rally wasn't enough as Minnesota held on to win 9-2. On Sunday, the Hawks could not avoid a short game as Minnesota swept the series, winning the final game 12-0 after 5 innings. The Lady Hawks ended their home season this weekend and said farewell to their seniors. Aaron Erickson, Whitney Rapel, Jillian Navarrete, Holly Hansel, and Holly Hoffman all said goodbye to Bob Pearl Field on Sunday in their final home game of their career in black and gold. That will do it for me in the sports studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
The UI is saying goodbye to one of its oldest residence halls. This May, Quadrangle Hall is set to go offline. With failing infrastructure and insects, the university no longer plans to use the space to house students. To wish it farewell, Westside residents set out to plan a Coachella-themed event called Quadrella. Daily Iowan TV's Bradley Martin was on the scene and has the story.
At the end of this academic year, Quadrangle Hall is set to go offline. With plans of a new pharmacy building taking its place, students living in the hall hit the quad to celebrate.
We realized at the start of last year, and we kind of wanted to celebrate the life Quad has had and all the people in it, so we wanted to throw a big party for everyone to come and have fun.
And a party is just what the students got. Inflatables, dunk tanks, volleyball, and more line the grassy knoll outside the closing residence hall. But not all students will miss Quadrangle.
Yeah, there are a lot of cockroaches all throughout.
Although university housing declined to comment on the issue, it's true that Quad will have that special place in our mind.
Just to say goodbye to Quad, really. Quad, like I said before, has just been here for so long, and I just think it's important that, people need to come and appreciate what it's done for the university.
Though Quad ends its life shortly, a new residence hall on Madison Street is in the workings.
It is an old building, but it's really cool once you see past the bugs and the age. So yeah.
We'll miss you, Quad!
Wishing Quad a farewell from Quadrangle Hall tonight in Iowa City, Bradley Martin for Daily Iowan TV.
Winner, winner. One person in New Jersey is feeling very lucky after Saturday night's Powerball drawing. A winning ticket for the $429.6 million jackpot was sold in Mercer County, New Jersey. The jackpot has kept growing since March 2nd with 18 drawings without a winner. This lot is one of the single biggest winning tickets ever.
And to wrap up our show today, we'd like to wish a very happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. The American version of this holiday of appreciation was created by Anna Jarvis in 1908. And became officially recognized as a national holiday in 1914. So on behalf of all of us here at Daily Iowan TV, thank you to all the moms out there. We appreciate everything that you do. And that'll do it for us tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to tune in again on Monday for all of the latest breaking news. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Andrew Roberts.
And I'm Keaton Fuller. Thank you for watching and have a good night.